Hello, folks. This is Robert Harris, live and in color, right here at the Radio Reading Services, a division of the Cincinnati Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. I am just happy beyond measure almost to be here with you and talking to you today. And our guest, Dr. Robert Akikta, he's with an organization that is his organization called Power of One Enterprises. Dr. Akikta, Robert runs and he's created a program and runs a program that deals with the power of one. He also has with him, in his life experiences, he's a martial artist. And he's not just dabbling in it. He's a grand master in it. I'm not talking to a novice here. I'm talking to the expert. And he uses more than one type of martial arts forms. And so much of the martial arts is also in dealing with healthy living, and it's dealing with what people are beginning to get in the last 20 years. They call it, mind, body, and soul. And those of us who are in the spiritual committee, we've reversed that and we call it soul, mind, and body. Putting the soul first, the spiritual things first, and letting it lead the way for the body. And this is why, again, I imagine, I'm not only imagine, but I'm sure that you came to this particular group that I'm with, to look at this. And what I wanted Robert I wanted him, first of all, to hear what you had to say and to begin to chime in with some of the things that he has learned through his life's experience, through the power of one, and through one of his own things, not only the martial arts, but the fact is, and Robert, this is why I wanted you on here too, so that you can talk about the necessity of taking better care of ourselves and how it relates to this. So Robert, I want you to chime in at the moment, if you would, Dr. Akikta.
I sure will. One of the things that our speaker was talking about is the way how our parents or the young ladies that are having the babies, is that in my martial arts class, I do a lot of things called lifetime fitness, which is basically martial arts philosophy that deals with the way how we take care of ourselves. But a lot of times, our state of mind, the way how we talk to people, the way that we are around toxic people who are always gossiping, saying negative things, being in arguments all the time, that takes a toll as well on a mother who's pregnant as well, because that is energy that's making her very nervous and also becoming to have her very stressed as well. Those different type of situations also have a major stress on the mother that I've learned over my 40 years experience, is that a lot of times when I work with young ladies that decide to have a natural birth, this is mean without medicine, a lot of it is the way how their environment is, what they put in their bodies, and then also about exercising. That's another big thing that a lot of people are getting into, that when people get pregnant, is that a lot of times the old way that, if a young lady's get pregnant, you're not supposed to do anything. You're supposed to, really, do all this other stuff that really is not good for your health. You really want to stay healthy, but you don't want to go to the extent where, some ladies are running marathons, and stuff like that. But you do want to stay healthy. But a lot of times people forget, as I call it, soft health, where a lot of people don't think about how just being around positive individuals, the way how you talk to somebody, the way how you basically de-escalate your situation before a situation happens. Another thing also is just something very simple as just simply dealing with rest. A lot of times people feel, well, I get 8 hours of sleep or 10 hours of sleep. A lot of times people don't realize the reason why we can go to bed and get 6 to 8 or 10 hours of sleep and get up in the morning and still feel tired is because we're not resting. So the body needs to rest also before it goes to sleep. So these are just different things that can help also in a person's pregnancy as well.
Robert, talk to us a little bit about how do we rest before we go to sleep, because so many of us think that we're sleeping in order to rest.
Right. Not really. Well, first of all, before I move forward, would the speaker agree with some of the things that I shared with everybody so far?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing that stuck out to me that you said was just the support that we can give each other, the support that we can give pregnant women in our community. It means more than you might think. So in Hamilton County, 21% of women who give birth say that they do not always or usually get the social and emotional support they need. So that's 1 out of 5 moms out there are saying,
Wow.
hey, I don't have the support I need, and they're not talking about financial support. They're talking about social and emotional support. Even just a simple thing like checking in on your neighbor who's pregnant, letting them know that you care about their pregnancy, can go a long way towards that pregnancy being a healthy one.
I could even say,
Excellent.
just saying congratulations.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, because so often the time it's, child, why'd you do that? Why'd you have that baby?
Yeah.
Right.
And
right.
now, whoa.
And to add, Robert, one of the things that people can do to help to de-stress is, like, for instance, they have a lot of videotape. A lot of CDs, or even Pandora also have a thing where you can pick selections of like a meditation music, classical music, all those different types of things that can help you to de-escalate. Just having no cell phones. And just having a moment of silence.
Blast the thing off.
Turn it off. You know what I mean? Turn it off. You know, like Teddy Pendergast always said, turn off the lights. Well, turn off the cell phones. Turn them off. You know what I mean? And sometimes a lot of people don't realize that. Another thing that can help also is just find, you know how the speaker was talking about how, you know, babies like to lay on their backs. Mm-hmm. Sometimes for adults, laying on their back, just resting, get into fitted clothing. Like, I love to go home and get in my PJs. You know what I mean? That's, you know what I mean? Just things that can help you. A lot of times people don't realize this, and I think my speaker will agree with this, is that the touch of another person can de-escalate an individual as well. Mm-hmm. It's very healing to get somebody just to massage you or just to rub you. One of the things that my wife and I love to do is to rub feet. Feet is another thing that really helps to just take all that energy away. Even rubbing somebody's hands.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So just to get rid of that toxic energy inside of you that is just causing more and more stress. And a lot of times we don't even realize that some of the illnesses that are going on, or the diseasement, or we call it disease, mm-hmm. that diseasement turns into a disease because a lot of times we don't realize that we have the power within each and every one of us to actually heal ourselves. We do have healing mechanisms in ourselves for the most part. I want all those skeptics out there. For the most part, we can really, really heal ourselves as well. And one of it is just a simple touch. See, a lot of times people don't realize that your presence alone can liberate someone. Just your presence. So a lot of times, just being around positive individuals, being around a plant, a mm-hmm. tree, an animal. There's so many different things that can just help to relieve and bring down that stress. And when these young ladies are pregnant, also one of the things that people need to realize, and I always tell people this, and I'm hoping people, if they're hearing this, just watch how I word this. If you're going to get with somebody that you're planning to be intimate with and you're not going to use protection, you might have, maybe, Robert, you might have a high probability that you might get pregnant. Mm-hmm. So therefore, now, I'm not a doctor on that level. But anyway, so therefore what happens is that maybe the person that you're with, you might want to watch who you're with. Mm-hmm. So would the speaker agree with that?
Ryan, are you there?
I am here. You talk about stress, and I'm looking at some data right now about moms with stress in pregnancy, and it looks like about 35% of moms in Hamilton County report that they have 3 or more major life stressors, and these aren't things like, work's a little tough right now. These are things like someone in their family died, or mm-hmm. they got divorced, mm-hmm. or they had to move, or, these are big life stressors. 3 or more of those within the past year. About 35% say that's happened to them.
And Ryan, also, did you know that in my 40 years of the martial arts, and when people come to me for training, did you know that over 85% of them that came to me said that they wish that they not, believe it or not, got pregnant by the person they didn't want to get pregnant by. And that's stressful in itself also, because it's not so much that having the baby, but what am I going to do with the baby that I don't want? And that's very stressful as well. And another thing that I also tell people too is that remember, it's not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you. So the thing is that sometimes people don't realize having a child is not having a brat or is something or a thing. It's actually a gift. It's something that can really help us. It's what you put in it is what you get out of it also. And a lot of times people don't realize that. Another thing that I also share with people is that with the Lifetime Fitness program is that it shares with people to realize that you can do something as long as you realize that you cannot buy health. You cannot buy health. But what you have to do is that you have to be proactive with your health. And one of the things is that a lot of times people come to me, Ryan, when they're really in a crisis mode and they're trying to correct a mistake. And especially with my mothers that are pregnant, they'll come to me and say, well, I've been doing this, Grandmaster Akikta, and blah, blah, and so forth and so forth. And I try to tell them, well, then when are you going to start? And a lot of them will say, well, I'm going to start with my next baby. Do you guys get that as well sometimes?
Yes. Yeah. You mentioned intentionality, and that's the outcomes for babies, as you would expect, tend to be much better when mom and dad were trying to have a baby. And in Ohio, nearly half of all pregnancies were either not wanted or not wanted at that time. And so these are all factors that play into this pretty complex picture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also one of the things that I have come in contact with too, part of the program of my Lifetime Fitness, is that our organization deals a lot with another generation, second, third, fourth, fifth generation of young ladies bringing in another child because mom was young. Their probability of them having a child young is also very high. So therefore, I've had young ladies as young as 12 years old, 13 years old, come up to me and say, my mom had a child very young, and she's not really saying it, but she's saying it that if I do have a child, that's all right. She understands because she was young. So actually, she's stressed, believe it or not. And do you guys do a lot with that also when you have individuals that they are so young, but yet you find out 2 or 3 or 4 years later they're pregnant, but they're actually stressed because it's almost like they're pressure to have children?
There's a lot of stress all around, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I've noticed, and it just goes along with what you're saying, Dr. Akikta, what Robert here is saying, and that is because I'm a bit older than both of you. I'm 67 going on 68. And I've been in the ministry a long time, since I was 21 years old. And I've been an old soul. I was born old. And both the girls and the boys, when I was a teenager, they would come to me for advice. And I have seen so many 13, 14-year-old pregnant girls, even in the churches,
That's
and
right.
one of the things that has happened is that they have felt that they were pressured by society as well as by the boys that sex is supposed to be like a rite of passage.
Right.
And so if I'm going to be grown, I need to smoke cigarettes and have sex.
That's right.
And the combination is, and also drink alcohol. And that means that your brain is going to get loose, and your body's going to get loose, and you're going to have a baby. And this goes for the men as well. And so we've got boys who think that I'm 12 years old now, I'm a man, that means that I have to have sex. And I literally, my late wife and I, we encountered some kids that we had, again, we were the parents, surrogate parents for. We come over to our house. One boy says, you're only 12 years old. And he's saying, I'm on my way over to so-and-so's house because her folks are out of town. And a bunch of us decided we're going to all go over, and she's offered to give us all some sex. I was like, are you crazy? Mm-hmm. And the answer is, yes, I am, but I think I'm okay. I think I'm normal. And we have this almost as a rite of passage in so many of our communities. And as you say, we've got second and third and fourth generation, and we've got babies raising babies, and we need to do something about it. And I'm glad to have both of you men on the show. I've got about 2 minutes. Again, Ryan, give us your phone number and a website so that we can get a hold of you.
Sure. The The website is cradlecincinnati.org, and the phone number for Cradle Cincinnati is 803-1285.
Okay, and Dr. Robert Akikta, the Power of One, how does one get hold of you?
You can get a hold of me at 513-678-0716, 678-0716, or you can go to my website at www.powerofone, and that's ONE, enterprises.com. Or you can go to my email if you want to, which is powerofonecares@yahoo.com.
And for me, it's robertleeharris.com. That's my website, robertleeharris.com. And my phone numbers, I'm not hiding. I'm even in the phone book. I'm the only Robert and Gloria Harris in the entire Cincinnati phone book. Can you believe that? Unlisted, not listed. It's listed. You better believe it's listed. I mean, I would waste money if I had an unlisted number because everybody has my number. You can also call me directly at 513-307-4297. Folks, that's my cell phone. My landline is simply 861-4254. It will answer the Robert Lee Harris Institute. And Phil, and don't forget the radio reading services. I was trying to figure out what my director was directing me to. There's a radio number right here. They call us right here at the station. 487-4245. That's area code 513-487-4245. One more time. 487-4245. Folks, we are here to help you. It's time for me to go. I thank you for being with us, for joining us today. Ryan, Robert, I thank you guys. To God be the glory. I just want you to get a hold of us and make a change. All things being equal, you have the power to be the change in your life. You take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.